Hello, everyone. It's Professor Schachter, and I'd like to welcome you again to social media marketing. Now, there are a lot of things that go on social media. There is selling, there is advertising, there is news distribution. So it would be impossible for this course to cover all aspects of it. Because at the core of social media is content, okay? And while the original purpose of social media was for people to be able to keep in touch with each other, maybe grow their network, we can see based on the way it's used today that different platforms are used for different reasons. However, what's key to each platform is content. And the most important attraction to social media is content. What that means is the content that brands put out, okay? Because that's what we're going to be focusing on. And for the most part, to use a very technical term, the content that's put out sucks. All right. Now, sucks is a very important word when it comes to social media. Sometimes it defines the platform. Sometimes it defines the environment of the platform, but it more often defines the content found on most brands' platforms. And while we'll use Instagram because that is the platform that majority of students use, as you scan through, and this is what you do, right? This is Tinder. This is Instagram. All right. So the direction of the finger defines what platform you're using. So as you swipe north to south, you are enveloped in really pretty pictures, which you probably devote probably, let's say, what, 2 seconds to? Look, here's this. Look, here's that. Here's another pretty person. Here's another pretty person. And they all become one pretty person blur. Or look, here's food. Here's more food. Here's food on a different plate. Oh, look, food. So travel, food, pretty pictures of pretty people is basically sums up the 3 categories of Instagram. Now, that may sound very cynical and very not true, but really it is true, right? So when we are a brand that is looking to capture people's attention to the point where they actually remember it and engage with it, we have to do something more than just the mediocrity of, look, pretty pictures. They must have an empathy to them. So this course is about you understanding and developing empathy upon which to message the brand story to people. The story is what differentiates brands. And whether I am teaching this course, or I'm teaching AC 111, or I'm teaching creative strategies, there's one factor that for me does not change. People don't buy anything that is not different. We are selling the difference. And you can look at a brand and say, wow, this is amazing. Then you look at another brand in the same category and you say, wow, this is amazing. But when it comes to purchasing, you're going to ask yourself, what's the difference? Which answers the questions of what am I paying for? Okay, why is this brand more expensive than the other? Or even if they're the same price, what's the difference? And while the student prefers these wonderful attributes, non-animal tested, vegan, sustainable, recyclable, loves puppies, and these generic attributes of brands that they just love to just throw out. So many brands have those elements that after we check off that list of what is politically correct for a brand to have, then what's the difference? 2 brands can be vegan. 2 brands can be what do you call it, politically correct sourced. Two brands can be having minimalist packaging that is recyclable, that does not hurt the environment, that magically disappears in a puff of smoke without harming anything. But what's the difference? We're not buying packaging. We're buying results. We are not buying anything that doesn't solve a problem that we have. We do not buy a product or a brand, however you want to define it, that does not help us in our everyday life. A brand that does not help us psychologically, a brand that does not help us emotionally, a brand that does not help us through their utility. So when someone buys a crock pot or any other type of kitchen gadget, they're not saying, I'm going to buy this one because the packaging is so recyclable. One of the products, the reason I mentioned Crock-Pot, is a Crock-Pot that came out as a $27 product on Amazon that keeps food warm and it's easily transported to the office. So when somebody wants hot soup at the office that they don't want to buy, this serves that purpose. When someone wants to take hot food with them to their workplace, this serves that purpose. It solves that problem. And it has nothing to do with, oh my God, look at this packaging, how it dissolves. So the problem that I'm trying to solve with this video is, very simply put, you must understand what the consumer needs are. You must understand what the product actually solves. And believe it or not, chances are that you probably don't. That you must be able to really understand the difference between the brand you're advocating for and the competitive environment in which that brand lives. So if you're going to use these wonderful statements that society has bestowed on us, that's great. But that's not what people are buying. We must differentiate between our political beliefs, our lifestyle beliefs, and our product beliefs. All right? Because when we buy a product, it is a selfish behavior. We buy that product to serve our needs, to enhance our life, to promote ourselves, depending on what the product is. And that's how we must approach that. Now, in this course, we're going to focus a lot on the most important and old school reason for doing social media: content. Content strategy, types of content, the right content for the right platform, for the right audience, content. This is a course in brand storytelling, brand content. And yes, we're going to review platforms, but we're going to review them from a content point of view. So for the first week, I have posted some videos on content. I have put up a discussion that is an interesting discussion by Tristan Harris, which is a podcast that I would like for you to listen to. So discussions will be broader than just content. It will be the essence of what social media is. But as we move forward, please understand content is what we're discussing, not advertising. We're not discussing politics. We're not discussing the news. We're not discussing anything. Brand content, brand differentiation, and the content we're going to execute. We're also going to be looking at other things, but nothing that is not content or content strategy related. Okay, I hope you enjoyed my first video, because there'll be more after this. Probably at least about 10, 12, 14 more videos. Okay, all right, have a great day.